comet wasn't supposed to hit Earth. Astronomers said it would pass close, closer than most, but still safe. A once-in-a-lifetime sky show. News stations hyped it for weeks. Schools planned watch parties. People filled parks and rooftops waiting to see it streak across the atmosphere like a burning ribbon. They named it C-27 Arachne. Nobody thought the name would be literal. I was working night security at the county observatory when it arrived. The building sat on a lonely hill miles from town, surrounded by dry fields and skeletal radio towers that hummed when the wind passed through them. At 1:13 a.m., the comet entered Earth's atmosphere. At 1:14 a.m., it broke apart. Through the telescope, it looked like the glowing tail shattered into dozens of fragments, each trailing green fire. Most of them burned up, but one didn't. One piece fell, and it didn't fall fast. It floated down, like it was choosing where to land. The impact happened about 2 miles from the observatory. No explosion, no shockwave, just a deep, wet sound that rolled across the hills like something heavy sinking into mud. Then everything went quiet. Even the insects stopped. 10 minutes later, the emergency radio crackled with reports from nearby farms. Livestock screaming, dogs howling, lights flickering. One caller kept repeating the same sentence over and over before the line cut. Something crawled out of the sky. I grabbed a flashlight and the emergency flare gun and drove toward the crash site before I could talk myself out of it. The crater wasn't big, maybe 30 feet across. The ground around it looked melted and glassy, glowing faintly green. Steam rose in twisting ribbons that smelled like burned metal and spoiled meat. At the center of the crater sat the comet fragment, except it wasn't a rock. It pulsed, slowly, like it was breathing. The surface cracked open with a sound like snapping bone. Thin strands stretched between the splitting shell, glistening in the flare light like spider silk soaked in oil. Something inside moved. I backed up slowly, raising the flare gun, hands shaking. The shell peeled apart. 8 long limbs unfolded outward, each one stabbing into the crater walls to steady itself. The creature dragged itself upright, towering over me. Its body was swollen and translucent, veins glowing faint green beneath pale, rubbery skin. Its head, or what I think was its head, was a cluster of black eyes, dozens of them, layered and blinking independently. Beneath them, thin mandibles clicked softly like someone tapping fingernails together. It looked directly at me, and I felt catalogued. Then it turned and scuttled away into the darkness faster than anything that size should have been able to move. I didn't sleep that night. Neither did anyone else in town. People started disappearing the next day. At first it was hikers, then a mail carrier, then an entire family from a farmhouse near the crash site. Police searched the woods, but found nothing except strange patches of webbing stretched between trees, thick ropes of translucent silk that pulsed faintly like they were alive. 3 days later, they found the first survivor. A teenage boy stumbled into town barefoot, covered in dirt and dried webbing. He couldn't speak, could barely breathe. His stomach was swollen like he'd swallowed a basketball. He kept pointing upward. Paramedics rushed him into the hospital. He died 20 minutes later. They said his abdomen ruptured during surgery. They wouldn't say what came out, but my friend works as an orderly there, and he told me they sealed the operating room afterward. Hazmat suits, military vehicles, unmarked vans parked outside until sunrise. I knew they wouldn't believe me, so I went back, not on foot. This time, I used a drone. I flew it over the woods every night for a week, scanning for heat signatures for any sign of movement. I finally found its nest in an abandoned barn on the edge of town. The drone camera captured it all. The creature, Arachne, was dragging unconscious people inside and wrapping them in that same translucent webbing, creating a gallery of writhing cocoons. But it wasn't eating them. It was laying eggs. The video shows it clearly. A long, needle-like ovipositor sliding out from its abdomen and piercing the swollen stomachs of its victims. They were still alive. Some of them were still moving. This is why you can't let it touch you. It doesn't want to kill you. It wants to be a mother.